Alright, comic friends, I'm Travis, and it's New Comic Book Day! Yay! Or at least New Comic Book Day for me. And actually, New Comic Book Day was yesterday. I would have gotten these yesterday, but the plant where my comic books come from, the post office, they had some massive power outage. And so the machines weren't working, so stuff didn't get routed. Anyway, that would have been cool to have comics on Comic Book Day. Not that it matters. I've still got like 7 books from last week I still have to read. Yeah, because that was a huge week. Huge week. I'm going to say it again, even though I say it every week and then it doesn't happen. Comic Book Roundtable this Saturday. It might be the last Saturday of Comic Book Roundtable. I will be there. Work disrupted last week. So I will be turning off my phone so work can't get a hold of me. And they can just live without me. I'm supposed to be on vacation, and I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with work. Anyway, only 16 books this week. That's a meager amount of books for me, which is disgusting, right? But let's see what we got. Okay, get it turned around here. So first up is Lazarus Risen, issue number 2. Big, hefty, square bound. I really wish these oversized books were not square bound. I know some people like that. You can't open it up enough to get as much as the art as much of the art as what I think you could otherwise. It is an oversized book. My understanding is it's about 44 pages of comic book and then another 22 pages of back matter of some sort or another. I don't know what the back matter that's in this one. It is $7.99, as you can see down there. I don't pay that much for it. What am I paying for it? Let me see. Looking over my thing real quick here. I am paying $4.79 for it. So, not too bad for me. Love the story. With the first issue of this, I'm not digging the format. We'll see the second issue of this thing coming out quarterly, whether or not that's a thing that I like, support, whatever, or do I look at whether or not it's going to come out in a trade and go that route with it? Even though I have been collecting it in singles all this time and I really like the book, I want to support it. I'm just not sure if what I'm getting is what I want that way. Ms. Marvel issue number 5, or the Magnificent Ms. Marvel issue number 5. Out of Chaos comes a new costume, which I am not interested in whatsoever. I like the traditional costume, so I'm hoping that if and when she comes back, she gets her old costume back. I have no idea. I have dropped this book. I will read this. It just hasn't been grabbing me the way I want it to, the way it has in the past. So I am moving on from it. There are other Marvel books coming up that I'm going to be more interested, I think. There's a Doctor Doom book coming out that... who's writing it? Somebody's writing it, I think, that I'm really, really interested in. So I will be picking that up. So it's not like my meager Marvel list is going to get smaller. It's just going to change. Next up, we have issue 7 of 12 of Martian Manhunter. And I think now we're finally kind of moving past all the old Mars stuff. We found out what his sin is that happened on Mars, the thing that he did. And now he's going to be better now moving forward here on Earth. They're going to find the kidnapper and whatnot. Those wonderful, gross, scary-looking pigs there, done by Riley Rosmos. Looking forward to checking it out and seeing what that all has in it. Huh. All right, issue number 12 of A Walk Through Hell. And then there was What Happened to Us. This has been brilliant. It has been scarier than all get out. It's been creepy. It's had body horror in it. It's had super suspense. It's been a psychological thriller. All kinds of cool stuff. No idea where it's going or when it might end or whatever. But it has been a really, really cool ride so far. The penultimate issue of The Wicked End of the Divine. So this is issue number 44. I think this is the end, and I think that really the next issue is going to be kind of an epilogue, right? Kind of a thing. So I am deeply, deeply curious to see how this all plays out. This has been a long and interesting 44 issues, 43 issues. I'm looking forward to the end because I'm looking forward to what's next for some of the creators. And I also look forward to, at some point, going back and reading through this thing, just consistently reading through the whole thing. I'll just it has consistently been a cool and interesting book. So, but I want to reread it because I know these guys work to make it rereadable, to make it to where there's more stuff in there that you catch the second, third, or fourth time around. So I'm looking forward to that. Issue number 11 of Bone Parish. This is the penultimate issue. I love using that word. Can you tell? Of Bone Parish. One more issue after this. It's been good. It's been a good kind of crime horror type book. Clearly, bad things are going to happen for Wade here. He kind of made his bed with the wrong people, and it is going to bite him in the end, it looks like. Love the fact it's raining those bullets. That is a really good cover. Really like that cover. That's a good cover. Someday I need to do another video about covers. Not that I know anything. I just like to have my own opinion. Dark Red, issue number 5. I think this is the end of the arc. I had decided to quit ordering it. There are elements that I like, but not enough. Not enough to keep me on board. With a vampire book, you kind of need to give me something different. And I don't feel like at this point it has. I like some of the characters, but not enough just to keep to see what's going to happen with them. So, issue number 5 of The Invisible Kingdom. I want to say this might be the end of the first arc. Or was the last one the end of the first arc? At any rate, I think this one is. Interesting-ish. There's this equivalent of Amazon that controls everything, every product, basically. They are the most powerful thing out there. There is this religion, and our priestess here has discovered, because she's an expert in bookkeeping, so she's doing bookkeeping for the church, that discovered that the church is in cahoots with these Amazon equivalent, and a transport ship with its crew discover that they've been transporting nothing. So there's like some money laundering potentially going on or something like that between the church and this company. It would be a very explosive and very bad if it was exposed. Potentially they're going to expose it, or they have to figure out what they're going to do because they figure they've got a price in their head now. It's kind of what the story is, and we're going to kind of see what that is. Always great Christian Ward art. I don't think that there have always been a lot of elements in this book that have lent him to do what he does best, but it's always still enjoyable. Killer Groove, issue number 3 from Aftershocks Comics. Always love these things because, of course, they always look like this is a 45. There's the record that's slid out. This cover is really interesting. The guy's snorting cocaine, and the cocaine has been laid out to look like guitar neck and whatnot. So this guy seems to be like a natural-born killer. He's also a magician, and when he kills, then maybe he is better at his craft. There's also this Latin American ex-cop who's now a private eye. Her father has shown up out of the blue. Someone was chasing him in the first issue. We're not sure what that's about. I'm assuming we'll get more into that. Some interesting stuff. Enough things going on that I'm going to hang around for a while. And hopefully see the pieces connect and see what kind of a story it's going to tell me. So, might be one of those kind of devils at the crossroad kind of thing, except the devil doesn't seem to be there, maybe, or he's there and we just don't recognize who that is yet. At any rate, Weatherman, Volume 2, Issue 2. This perfectly seamlessly picked right up where the last volume ended. I absolutely love this book. I love the colors. I love the art. Nathan Fox is on top of it. Chaos is ensuing all around. We'll see what all plays out. Hard for me to get into the details of it. They are on Earth, where some biologicals had gone off talked about in the first arc that killed most of all the civilization, all the people on the planet. There are pockets of people left who are trying to survive. They can't leave the planet. They've been quarantined because anybody could have this disease on it. Our main heroes are now on the planet. There are skyscraper high piles of bones of dead people because billions of people have died on the planet. And maybe they're not totally dead. There's some interesting stuff that looks like it's going to happen. I'm very excited to read that. I'll go to the top of my book for sure. So one of the Year of the Villain books, as there are lots of them, they're all referred to as The Offer. This is Batgirl issue number 37. Of course, this is the card stock cover, so I paid $1 more, I think, for it to get the Oracle cover, which I kind of like. So new creators on the team. Castellisi is on it. She wrote Shade the Changing Girl and Shade the Changing Woman, which I enjoyed quite a bit. She also wrote the Furies book, which just finished up. I was not a real big fan of that, but looking forward to seeing what she's going to do with Batgirl. Di Galiamco on art, Jody Belair on colors. So I'm just looking forward to seeing what she might say or do with Batgirl. What's the next thing going on with Batgirl? I have been enjoying Batgirl as far as your standard 4-color superhero type of book. Next up, we have Book of Magic, issue number 10. We are still traveling around, I believe. Tom is with his teacher, trying to locate his friend who has come back. She's come back to the regular world, so we'll see if Tom makes it back and whatnot. I'm still enjoying the book quite a bit. Great Tom Fowler art. Interesting having Brian Churla. I guess he continues to be the finisher. He's the inker for the book, so it does change it a little bit. Both of them are more cartoonist type of illustrators, which I enjoy, so they're a good match as far as that goes. But definitely not the same as if Tom was inking his own stuff, but still really enjoy it. I've been really enjoying the book. It's been a good crawl, so I've been enjoying that. Detective Comics issue number 8. Of course, this is another of the hard stock covers again. Mr. Freeze there. I have dropped Detective Comics. I did my order last week, and I chose not to continue with Detective Comics. I've not been enjoying it. I know some people got a real kick out of the whole Spectre 2-issue story. The only thing I can say about that is it was cool that it was only 2 issues. It needs to be more of that in comics, especially superhero comics, where we just get kind of a story and it's done. But the story itself was fairly moronic, in my opinion. The way they used the Spectre was dumb. Batman's lines were kind of stupid in it. I just absolutely did not enjoy it whatsoever. Maybe it's because I'm tired from all the work I've been doing, and so my tolerance for mediocrity is very low, and so some books become more of a challenge. But I have not been liking Detective Comics all that much since Tomasi is on the book, which blows my mind because normally I am a huge Tomasi fan. I have loved pretty much everything he has done up until they kicked him off of Superman, and he has come onto this book. So I don't know. I don't know. I continue to want to like it. I'll probably like the art. The art has been good. The art for that arc of was the Spectre was very good. Looks like Doug Mankey's back on the book with his inker Mendoza, so I will like the art in this, I am sure. I just don't know. That has not been enough to keep me on the book. And Detective Comics is a book. It takes work to get me off the book because it is normally something that anytime I'm collecting comics, I collect Detective Comics. Started way back in the mid 80s. Detective Comics used to have a backup story in the back of every issue of Detective Comics, and it had Green Arrow in it, and it was the only place I could read Green Arrow at the time. And I've just kind of stuck with it. It's the Batman book that I normally would stick with. But no, I can't keep doing it. So I will get back on when there's new creators on the book, and I'm sure at some point I will be at some con somewhere or something, and they'll have dollar books, and I'll hopefully be able to buy those things for $1 to fill it in, and then I'll read it and be less annoyed with it, maybe. Or I'll continue to be annoyed with it. but I'll have in my collection because it's the collecting part, right? Which I'm more of a reader than a collector, and that's why I can drop the books. So here we go. This is issue number 7, The Freedom Fighters. Who is the traitor? Boy, is one of them a traitor? That would be bad. So this is issue 7 of 12. This has just been a fun, you punch Nazis in the face kind of a thing, and the Nazis have been entertaining in the kind of the scope. I mean, they're one note in some ways, but there's the plastic man with the lightning bolt S's. They have been cool as far as like a sinister kind of thing. That's pretty cool. So it's been fun. It's been a fun kind of a romp. Eddie Barrows, who's not on this issue. He is not doing the art. Eddie Barrows has done the art up to this point, and Eddie did the cover. So why isn't he doing the art on the inside now? That's disappointing, because that has been fun. Redondo says is the artist. Bear with me. Let's take a few seconds. Let's take a look. See what we got for art. There's a big old dynamic splash page. As we're shooting a human bomb. Yeah, I don't know. Disappointing. Disappointing to have... Ooh, that's kind of a cool splash page, though. A change in artist. So... yeah, boo. Boo about that, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know why we suddenly don't have him on the book. I don't know if he got behind or whatever. What else we got? Oh, jeez, I must have just thought I had money or something. So here's another cardstock cover. This is Justice League Dark. That is a cool cover. Who is that, though? That's that ancient witch, right? No, I'm drawing a blank on her name. But that is a cool cover. I've been really enjoying Justice League Dark. It's cool to see these, the more magic bent heroes battling this large threat. So issue 13, I'm hoping that we're going to start dealing with that large threat and get it taken care of the others from the other, place. I'm hoping that I'll get squared away soonish. Just because I want to see what else we might explore in the magical world. But it has been cool. They've done a good job of keeping it going and having little subplots that roll along. They just took care of the Lords of Order because they kind of decided just to write the Earth off. So we maybe don't have a Dr. Fate right now. I'm curious to see how that all plays out and whatnot. Man, who did that cover? Because I really like that cover. Is that a Ginny Frischkin cover? Almost looks too worked to be that, though. So we're going to look, because I've got time. Dan Quintanana did the variant cover, so that's this cover. The other cover is a Gilliam March cover, which is cool, because I like Mark. March, I mean. So this has got Mark Buckingham doing the art on the inside. So it's going to be classic. Look at that. Look at that classic look. Yeah, that is classic Justice League, Justice Society. Look at that, Dr. Fate. Man, the way that looks. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this because it's got lots of Dr. Fate stuff in it, I guess. I'm looking forward to it because it's got a very classic kind of look to it. A little darker than what most, because it's black bordered. So that's not a normal thing as far as the grand scheme of stuff. But I am looking forward to it. Tracy 13 there. They're in the Oblivion Bar, obviously. That's cool. Some Constantine, some Fantana. Anyway, yeah, the dark borders aren't classic, but the rest of it looks pretty classic. So I am. Whew. Look, that's an interesting ad. You're the villain. Who are the infected? And see, this takes me right out of it, right there. Completely takes me out of it. I'm not interested in that continuing to plague the DC universe. Yeah. So, I'm not excited by that. Not excited by that at all. So, whatever with that. I do love that cover, though. That cover is freaking cool. Okay. And finally this week, it is the House of X. The reboot of X-Men, the reimagination, the injecting new life into the X-Men, cleaning house of the X-Men, the tribute to everything that is X-Men in a supposedly brilliant Hickman kind of a way. I have seen people just talking up the moon about this book like it is just the best thing ever. I am worried. I am worried for me as a reader. I was excited about this, and then they announced a ton of other X-Men books over San Diego Comic-Con, like 4 or 5 books. Characters I like are scattered across all 4 or 5 of those books. I don't know. Silly me, I thought maybe we were going to go back to like the core of what when I was a kid and read the X-Men back in the 80s. I don't know. I don't know what to have an expectation, but I have seen creators blow their minds over this issue, and they're already on issue 2 thinking how awesome it is. I know in advance of this Wednesday, comic book store type people, anybody who gets advanced solicitations were like losing their minds over it. So I'm excited. I'm excited to dive into it. I've seen ads for it that make me worry because I don't know who those people are in those ads. I don't know who this person is whatsoever. I'm assuming they'll tell me, but I don't know if that's supposed to be ultimately significant to me or not. I hope to be as excited by it that as everybody else seems to be. I'm getting the other half also, which is good because I guess they technically do tie into each other. So this is the House of X, and the other one is the Power of X. Yeah, we'll see what it has for me. It feels heavy. It's a $5.99. I don't know if they're all that price tag or not, but I'm assuming that means there's extra in it. Hopefully not ads, but the actual extra of pages. Anyway, that is it. Look forward to diving into these. Whether or not you'll hear me discuss them on a roundtable at some point, I don't know. I have been on vacation, but I have been tied up with other stuff, so I haven't really had the time to explore what I'm going to do with the comic book roundtable after this week if YouTube really does shut down the Hangouts. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the whole thing. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, have a great one, everybody, and I'll see you on the weekend.